This is Mark Washington Making the Cut with your Week 1, first full Saturday, Week 1 college football. Last week technically is Week 0. I know it sounds strange. This is Week 1. And we're going to go ahead and get started down there in Charlotte, North Carolina, where you have Georgia versus Clemson. Probably the biggest game of the day. So the Tigers are going to have life without Trevor Lawrence. I know Trevor Lawrence didn't play against the first game at Notre Dame last year. It was DJ Wingagalele. He has been great. He was great in high school. He took over for a young man in high school who also ended up playing Division I, played at Iowa State. He's transferred now. He's going to be one of the keys. But also, can the Tigers run the ball? If Clemson can run the ball, they can control the clock, and that makes things much easier on offense for them. And also on the defensive side, Georgia has a good quarterback themselves in JT Daniels. And when you look at Clemson, when they've gotten to the college football playoffs, their secondary has struggled at times, and that's to put it mildly. So it comes down to, do you think that JT Daniels has enough to put Georgia on top? Look, coaching cannot be overstated here. And to be frank with you, I trust Dabo Swinney more than probably almost anyone in this country. So Clemson -3 becomes the play for me. I think they end up pulling it out. And remember now, for Clemson, this game means a lot more than it does for Georgia. Georgia have places in the schedule where if they sustain a loss to Clemson, they can make it up because of the strength of the schedule in the SEC. Clemson does not. This is Clemson's showcase game. It's really their only game of note. We don't know who they'll play in the ACC championship game, but it's really their only game of note. So when you add in all of that and the fact that Dabo's had a whole summer to prepare for Georgia, I like Clemson -3. Up next is Indiana and Iowa, probably a strange game that you think that I'd pick, but it does present some quality here. Iowa is favored by 3.5, but we're not going to talk about the line. We're going to talk about the over-under. Last season, Indiana, Michael Penix Jr., before he lost his last 2 games because of an ACL injury, was flying. And so when he comes back this year with wide receiver Ty Freifogel, you can see the power in this offense that Indiana has. And also they might have one of the best defenses in the Big Ten. But offensively, he has that weapon in Freifogel. Then he has Miles Marshall also on the outside and a strong tight end with Peyton Hendershot. Indiana will not have problems scoring points this season, even though they're going to Iowa. And obviously Iowa is very good. Generally, they've been kind of stout on defense. But Indiana is going to be able to score, and it's going to force Iowa to score. And with Iowa, you got to protect your quarterback, because you certainly don't want to sit around and want Spencer Petras thinking that he has to win the game, which is why it's so important that Tyler Goodson, the running back for the Hawkeyes, have a good game. This game shapes up around 27-24. The over-under for it is 46. Play the over for Indiana and Iowa. And last but not least, Alabama and Miami. What can you say? Alabama dominates these neutral sites, game opener, play it in Atlanta, Dr. Pepper, yada, yada, yada game. They always seem to win it. I'm going to give you a bonus on this. You're going to want to play this 2 ways. Play Alabama in the first half, -10.5, and that's through BetMGM. It's going to be very important because at the time of this recording, FanDuel did not have a first half line for Alabama and Miami. Now here's the flip side. Flip side is that FanDuel had Alabama -19.5, where BetMGM had Alabama -20. So you get that half a point back. So listen to me when I say play the first half and play the game. Alabama -10.5 on BetMGM for the first half, and take Alabama -19.5 on FanDuel for the game. Because again, Alabama dominates these games. I don't think that Miami and Florida really has enough. They are on the rebound, but they're not rebounding that much to expect for them to stay within the hailing distance of the Alabama Crimson Tide. So those are my pick for Saturday's game with week 1. We will come back all throughout the weekend into next week. This will be a weekly thing where we will be taking games, usually 2 or 3, could get up to 5 depending on the week. And once the NFL season kicks in, we'll be getting into the NFL season also with these picks. So stay tuned, stay with us. If you don't know where I am on Twitter, it's at MTC with Mook. Also, same thing on Instagram at MTC with Mook. Stay with us all season. And if you didn't catch our picks from Friday night slate, you can go back and check out those picks. We had a few games that we picked from Friday. Definitely tune in. We're not going to promise you every week, but most weeks this broadcast will also be shout out amongst all our platforms, so you can watch them on the platforms or go back